the main event, the men's Royal Rumble match. Alright, so number 1 and 2 started off as Rey Mysterio and Penta. Alrighty, so we were going crazy, especially if you're a Lucha Underground fan. I didn't get to really watch it that much and everything, but I am very much aware of the history there from other reviewers, and man, you couldn't start it off any better with these two. Fans were going absolute crazy in the there in the audience and everything, man. You could hear the whole place shaking. What's interesting though, there is a moment where Rey Mysterio does like a hurricane rana to Penta over the top rope, and I guess they were supposed to hang on, but Penta's feet, they look like they hit the ground. It's really hard to see. It looked like maybe his toe hit, and I don't know if the idea is okay, both feet have to hit the ground, whether it's just your toes or the back part or the whole flat foot of your feet, but they apparently did not want to show it at all, so I guess they're just gonna ignore that it happens. So yeah, that was an interesting part, because I heard the audience go like, ooh, at that point. So yeah, number 3 was Chad Gable, and fans love doing the whole "you suck when he comes out and everything. Carmelo Hayes came out, got a pretty good ovation. Santos Escobar as well got a pretty okay one, kind of mild reaction, everything. Otis came out, and man, fans love Otis. Yes, they do. Otis got a big ovation, so Otis very much still over. Number 7, out comes Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker got a massive reaction. I was like, let's go. Even in the audience, I was like, let's go. And Braun Breaker came in and he cleaned house. Spear here, spear there. Braun Breaker, absolute beast he was. Man, that was something. And then number 8 was supposed to be Akira Tozawa, and he comes out and he ends up getting laid out by Carmelo Hayes, who was also eliminated by Braun Breaker, because yeah, Braun Breaker, he's eliminating him, Santos Escobar, Carmelo. And then out comes basically, while he was streaming, IShowSpeed, and from here IShowSpeed ends up running out, and let me tell you all, man, thunderous reaction, one of the biggest reactions of the night. Everyone was going to that place crazy. I could feel the ground shaking. People were going crazy for IShowSpeed when he came out. So incredibly popular. I said in my WrestleMania 39 review WrestleMania, I'm thinking of the other one from the previous time with Logan Paul. I think that was KSI. But no, WrestleMania 40. In my WrestleMania 40 review in ranking, I said that I was not familiar with who IShowSpeed is, but I did find him entertaining getting the RKO by Randy Orton. And man, I gotta say, I got a lot of respect for IShowSpeed here, in terms of for him not to be a pro wrestler and do what he did. So he comes in and he helps Braun Breaker eliminate Otis, and he's up here celebrating, dabbing him up, and like, yeah, and he does an impressive standing backflip, and then you start seeing Braun Breaker running back and forth, and even before IShowSpeed could turn around, man, you want to talk about Jim Ross always saying, by God, he's broken him in half. That's exactly what it looked like. Man, such velocity that Braun Breaker, he nails IShowSpeed with a devastating spear, to the point that it looked like IShowSpeed body was stiff like this, but his neck ended up going nearly like ear to shoulder of whiplash as he hit the ground. Brutal looking spear, no matter what angle you look at it, man. And then he gets gorilla press slammed by Braun Breaker, who throws him out of the ring onto Otis. And then Otis does a fall away slam to the back and really nails, by throwing him onto the announce table, really nails IShowSpeed there, as IShowSpeed ends up going down the unforgiving announce table into the chairs. And man, I when you look at it, I think he was playing it up really well. The way he was sold, it's like, like he was out of it. And I'm pretty sure that did hurt, especially for someone like him who's not in the ring that much. Looked like a good chunk of skin got scraped off his leg. Yeah, brutal. you know what? A lot of people, I think, especially if you're a '90s kid like me, you might not be watching IShowSpeed. I think he is more so a demographic of teenagers and young adults in their early 20s. So I'm probably not the target demographic, but I'll say this for it, man. When you're not a pro wrestler, to come in there and take that punishment that he did, and essentially take one for the team and really help WWE make their superstars look good, Braun Breaker and Otis look good. How could you not have respect for that, man? He made himself basically a punching bag for those guys to make them look good, because obviously they're going to be the guys that are going to still be here. And he used his reach to help WWE, because they got like over 300 million social media engagement levels and stuff, or likes and everything across all social media platforms. Man, I was going to work, met a co-worker who didn't even watch pro wrestling, came to me, is talking about, hey man, did you see that IShowSpeed and Braun Breaker and stuff? I saw a couple that I know that I'm friends with in the grocery store, and they came up to me and they were like, oh, I saw that IShowSpeed and everything, you were there at the Royal Rumble and this stuff. And like, so clearly, I think a lot of people who, just because you're not in this target demographic, I think what needs to be understood here with WWE is that basically Triple H is doing smart business. Triple H understands that, hey, even if I don't watch this guy, a lot of people clearly do, and we have to understand that social media, and it's cool to see that they're recognizing content creators. As a content creator myself, they're recognizing the importance of content creators and how it can help the WWE product. So I think it's all good, smart business and everything. I've seen some of IShowSpeed stuff since WrestleMania 40, some pretty good stuff, and how energetic he is. It's really cool to know that for anime, because I also cover Dragon Ball a lot on my channel, it's cool that I guess he got direct permission from the producer of One Piece to do reactions. So this is a huge step moving forward for those of us that like to use the official anime footage on our YouTube channel as a way to help the anime get more viewers. So it's really cool. So yeah, much respect to IShowSpeed for going out there and making the WWE product look good. That was pretty good. And I saw some of his backstage stuff, and yeah, he's very respectful to the wrestlers, having a great time with them. So yeah, that was really cool. Getting back to the wrestlers though, yeah, some people say, I also heard say that they could have used another person in this spot. I guess that's why they used Akira Tozawa, because they figured, okay, we'll use someone who's not high on the totem pole in terms of the WWE star power structure. I guess maybe that's the reason why they chose IShowSpeed. Another thing too, I believe, and I'm glad he's doing okay and hopefully onto a speedy recovery. JD McDonough, I think he was supposed to be in his Rumble, but he was out. He wasn't going to be able to make it, just like Dakota Kai wasn't going to be able to make it due to, I believe she's going through a concussion, if I read correctly. So they needed something, and hey, why not use IShowSpeed? I just don't know. You had so many of the mid-carders and top main event level guys in this, and then everyone else is world champion. Who else realistically could you have put in here that would have helped WWE get 300 million social media engagement levels across all their platforms? I don't know. I can't answer that question. So if you do feel, and you're out there in the chat or you're on demand, if you feel IShowSpeed shouldn't have been put in this spot and should have gone to another talent, who do you think would have gotten WWE that type of publicity? So yeah, let me know. That being said, Sheamus came out. That was really cool, but I gotta be honest, the music, man, I wasn't feeling the music. I got like was it Michael Blackson, I think, from Next Friday said, I can't get jiggy with this crowd, right? I could not, man. It was like, I felt we were popping for the name or popping for seeing the person on screen, but the music just wasn't in. I don't know what this is they got for Sheamus from Def Rebel, I think. Jimmy Uso came out to a big ovation, so it's really good to see Jimmy Uso getting into his own place, basically, as a baby face and everything like that. Stuff that I think they should have been doing more with him instead of kind of making him go back to what he was doing before in the bloodline. Next up, we got Andrade. So it was cool to see Andrade come out. He got a great ovation and everything. So really good to see him. Looks like he's happy to be out of AEW back in WWE. So that was really cool. See where hopefully he ends up going, because I don't think they've done much with him ever since he had that multi-match series in 2024 with Carmelo. After that, number 12, Jacob Fatu. All right, let me take a little break here because I've been talking for so long. All right, so right, Jacob Fatu comes out at number 12, and I was going crazy. I was like, let's go, Jacob Fatu. I'm like, it's on, because, man, you know Jacob Fatu is going to start wrecking house, and he came in there, dude was wrecking house everywhere, and stuff like that. And man, there was even one time they teased Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker, and people were going crazy, man, just again, like, this is what's awesome, because of just how strong Jacob Fatu, and this goes back to what I was saying about Pure Fusion Collective. If you want to have Pure Fusion Collective get that type of reaction, then you book them like Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu's been booked as a beast, and so the audience acts accordingly. You had Ludwig Kaiser came out, and he was eliminated in like 6 seconds by Penta. I think, like, man, that was crazy. Let's see, in the chat we got SMP. He says he was running it. Oos, yes he was. Shout out to SMP 2390. He was the one sitting next to me during the Royal Rumble. So yeah, man, that was fantastic seeing. What else we got here coming out next? Let's see, number 14. Yeah, after Ludwig Kaiser got eliminated quickly, The Miz came out. Miz always has awesome music. Miz always gets a pop, so it was cool to see The Miz in the Rumble. Next up, after that, we ended up getting TNA champion Joe Hendry. Dun, dun, I believe in Joe Hendry. Dun, dun, however the song goes. All right, so I've never seen Joe Hendry. I've heard a lot about him. I have listened to the music. Boy, when you talk about a superstar reaction, yes, I believe in Joe Hendry. That audience came unglued in person for Joe Hendry, and everybody was doing the whole clapping and everything to his theme song. Man, this was history. TNA, the first time the TNA World Heavyweight Champion contracted under TNA, made an appearance in a WWE match. Truly phenomenal, truly awesome. That was fantastic to see Joe Hendry, and he was pretty good in the ring, because I never knew what the guy was like in the ring. I never watched any of his matches, so seeing, I was like, okay, the guy's good. I'm like, wow, okay, he has a superstar reaction. As someone who didn't know about Joe Hendry, this was a great introduction for me. So I heard it took a long time for him to put the TNA title on him, but yeah, he looked really good. He didn't last long, only like 3 minutes and 35 seconds. So they did not give the TNA World Champion for the men as much love this year as they gave the TNA Women's World Champion last year, Jordynne Grace, as much love as they gave her in that match. And this is where things started getting just real crazy from here. So after this, number 16, out comes Roman Reigns, and that old place became even more unglued. We were all throwing up the ones. Like, I tell you, 70,000 plus people were standing right there up with the ones. Like, man, massive reaction. It was just really cool to see. 10 years later, since he first won his first Royal Rumble match, Roman Reigns coming out to a huge ovation, beloved by everyone. Yeah, I think when Roman Reigns got in there, he made short work of Joe Hendry, The Miz, Sheamus, Braun Breaker. Yes, let's talk about that. So Roman Reigns, they even got teased with Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. Audience was going crazy, and Braun Breaker, like I said, Roman was tearing up everybody, and then he came up against Braun Breaker, and they started running back and forth, and Braun Breaker actually, boom, shut down Roman Reigns with a devastating spear, man. And Roman was selling it like, oh, like, man, these what these young boys are doing with the spear nowadays, or is this what I'm doing? Is my boy, the man 001, who's sitting next to me on the right, he was saying, no, Roman's like, this is what I be making people feel. Dang. Man, devastating spear. Crowd was going crazy when Braun Breaker did that, because, man, that was fantastic. Braun Breaker, like, and that was really cool for Roman to give him that spotlight. And so Braun Breaker, he picks up Roman Reigns, and in tribute to the way Roman Reigns, how he speared Batista back in 2014 at the Royal Rumble, only for Batista to reverse and eliminate him, the same thing happens here. Braun goes for the elimination, Roman reverses it and throws Braun Breaker out. Man, that was a fantastic sequence. Really love that. Number 17, out came Drew McIntyre. He got a big pop as well, and like I say, whether face or heel, I've been Drew McIntyre since day one when he was introduced as the Chosen One. So I'm always going to pop for Drew McIntyre. Drew was awesome. Now this comes about to the music. Here's where I'm going to talk about the music. So we're counting down 3, 2, 1, and this rap music that no one recognizes plays, and I would say not exactly hard hitting rap music. The fans go like, "Hey, huh?" And there's like just this huge hush over the crowd. Oh, everybody's face like, "Who's that?" And everybody's looking like they're just trying to figure out who this is. And we see on the text it starts saying F-I, and it's like got the other two letters blurred out, so we don't know who the heck this is, and we don't know what this music is and who it's for. And then they flash Finn Balor on the screen, a close-up shot of Finn Balor, and people are like, "Oh, it's Finn Balor," and they're like, "Yay!" Ah! We're all happy to see Finn Balor and everything back. And it's like, oh, okay. And I was telling my boy, the man 0001, I was like, this music is not doing it. Like, what is this? He's like, this is just noise. Like, yeah, this killed Finn Balor's initial pop, and it kind of delayed his pop momentum. If he would have just came out, even Def Rebel, to their credit, I thought Def Rebel did a really good remix of his CFO's theme. If he would have came out with that or the original theme song, one of his past two theme songs, I think fans would have popped for it. But this was not doing it, unfortunately, so that is what it is there. Next up came out was Shinsuke Nakamura, and man, his music, his entrance was awesome live in person. People are still trying to sing to the song, oh, all that and everything, so that was cool. Number 20, things got lit. Jey Uso came out. It's just me, Uso. Everybody was doing the heating and everything and going crazy, but obviously the music didn't last as much, because he had to get right in the ring and start going to business. But yeah, dude came out to a massive pop. And I will say this, walking around the streets of Indianapolis, I think SMP's in the chat, he can back me up on this. He was right there walking with me. The man 0001, Aaron Riff, who I also got to meet up with, it was always great to see him, of NoDQ.com. He'll back this up too. If anybody that was out there in the streets of Indianapolis walking to the Royal Rumble, the street was littered all over the streets with people wearing Yeet gear, Jey Uso merchandise from head to toe, whether you were an 8-year-old to 80 years old, all age groups, kids, teens, young adults, middle-aged adults, elderly people. I mean, dude, Jey Uso was over. People are buying that merchandise. We went to the superstore the night before, and man, they were so much gear, like SMP says in the chat right there, yeet. There was a lot of that going on. Man, I should have noticed something that was up too with Alexa Bliss, because there was a whole bin they had of Lily Dowls. They had a whole section of Lily Dowls there. I'm like, that should have been a sign, a telltale that Alexa Bliss is coming back. So yeah, Jey Uso massively over in this Rumble for sure. Number 21, the opposite of what we got with Finn Balor. AJ Styles makes his return, and AJ Styles, he came out to his old theme song. They don't want none, all that stuff and everything. And fans were singing along with it, and he got a huge pop, and I just don't think that pop would have been as big had not AJ Styles, he came out to his newer theme song and everything. So the importance of theme music, you need really popping theme music. When that first note hits, boom, it should be instantly recognizable. There's a reason why we think of when the glass shatters, we think of Stone Cold, or we hear if you smell, we think of The Rock and all that stuff, man. It just hits you and everything. And that was really cool. Number 22, Braun Strowman came out. So it was good to see Braun Strowman and everything. SMP in the chat right here, he looked over me, he said, that's a big mother effer. I don't want to piss him off and everything. So it was his first time seeing. He's like, he was telling me how even from this distance he could see how big of a man Braun Strowman was. What was surprising is after Jacob Fatu went through this whole tear, Braun Strowman eliminated Jacob Fatu, picked him up and threw him out. I'm like, whoa! I'm like, man, it wasn't a clothesline. It was like a lift you up like a baby and boom, put you right into your crib and stuff. I'm like, wow, I was shocked by that, because I'm thinking that they're gonna have Strowman out for a while to sell that devastating beatdown. That was the most brutal beatdown we ever seen Strowman got. So man, that was something. So next up, number 23. Number 23, of course, everyone knows NBA all-time greatest of all time, NBA legend Michael Jordan is number 23. So we see what you did there, WWE. Out comes, as my boy SMP would say, oh my brother, Cena-fi. So yeah, out comes John Cena, and he had a huge ovation. Fans are chanting Cena's name. It's crazy because let me get some water here. It's crazy because I have been going to WWE events long enough where it was, let's go Cena, Cena sucks, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Man, now it was basically just people singing along with John Cena, you can't see me, my time is now, man. So SMP says in the chat, yes, Cena-fi. Yeah, so I mean, man, you got things going on there, and Cena just comes out and huge ovation. Times have changed, but a lot of these kids back then, because back then I was like in my early 20s and stuff like that. A lot of those kids were growing up watching Cena and stuff like that. Now that I'm about to, pretty much in my mid 30s, now all those kids have grown up into their late teens, early 20s. Cena's their guy. That's who they grew up with, and a lot of them are going to these WWE events. And I think a lot of people, even my age group, and SMP will back us up on this. Me and him, we do have that respect for Cena. We both give where credit is due and stuff like that. Yeah, I was not a big fan of Cena back in the day with all the I did think he went over way too many times when there's other guys that could have gone over, and he even admits that he was wrong on the SummerSlam 2010 thing with the Nexus and stuff like that. And yeah, Cena didn't really do a lot in the ring beyond the 5 moves of doom for quite a bit there, until around 2014. But I always would admit, though, Cena could put on some of the greatest I think he's had. I believe Cena has truly had, even when I wasn't that big of a fan of him, I believe that Cena truly has had some of the greatest WWE matches in history. I love that JBL match he had at Judgment Day 2005. My favorite match in all time in person, in terms of in-person matches I've seen, is Money in the Bank 2011. I was there when him and CM Punk had that classics. So, John Cena, sometimes there's been like hits and misses with him, but when Cena's doing it good, yay. When Cena's not so much, and it's the same old that got a lot of people booing him, I understand that as well. But in this match, I give Cena props. I think Cena's performance in this match was great. I thought he looked good in the match and everything, so I really got no complaints about John Cena. Of course, our boy, the man 0001, he's consistent though. He's still booing John Cena to today. He was booing him and everything, but Cena came in with straight fire. He eliminated Finn Balor, Braun Strowman. And we'll get to Logan Paul in a bit here. But yeah, it started going crazy because it was just like one long, loud, sustained reaction. Because after CM Punk, after John Cena out comes CM Punk. Fans were chanting to his song and everything. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Cult of personality. All that stuff and everything. So that was great to see. And I was popping loud. I was like, yeah, because that's who I wanted. That was the guy I wanted to see. I wanted to see CM Punk win and finally go on to main event WrestleMania. And then after CM Punk, we get number 25, Seth freaking Rollins, and the crowd goes, oh, we were not expecting the big heavy hitters. Even now I'm like, oh, they starting us out a little early. I expected this towards the end, but they're giving us all the big main eventers, all the big heavy hitters now. And it was fun. Everybody was singing along the song. All that. So, man, it was packing here and everything. And I will say this is kind of one of the things I felt like there was a lot bigger pops in the men's Royal Rumble than there was in the women's. So that was really cool. And then after that, number 26 came out was Dominic Mysterio, who still gets the boos heavily hanging down. But I don't think he was the most over in terms of getting the heel heat and everything. And I think what's happened is a lot of people have gained respect for Dominic Mysterio. And he's definitely on the cusp of becoming a good babyface. And if you've seen his interviews or how he's reacted with fans, there was a touching one where a little girl gave him basically a sign that says, I love Dominic Mysterio. And he's like, oh, I hope that this isn't... he was saying, I hope that this isn't this is for real. And her parents like, yeah, this is for real, she loves you. And so he signs it for her and everything, gives the little girl a hug, and is just talking really nice and sweet to her and everything and stuff like that. And he's not not playing up with his heel character. He knows how to play it heel, obviously, when he's on camera or a part of the show. But I think you see he comes off like a really good guy, and I think he can really measure that into being a babyface. So I think if Dominic Mysterio's booing, the heat isn't as big as it was, I think a lot of people have gained respect for him because he's proved a lot of doubters wrong. He's proved that he can be on his own and everything and not be Rey Mysterio's son, and just come off now as what I believe is he's the guy who just so happens to be Rey Mysterio's son. So yeah, that was cool to see Dominic Mysterio. Number 27, Sami Zayn came out and everybody doing the music and singing, oh, all that. Number 28, Damian Priest came out, huge ovation. Number 29, I knew at this point where it was going to be, so out comes LA Knight, who still gets a huge popping reaction. But I will say this, in 2023, clearly, when I was walking the streets of Detroit to SummerSlam LA Knight was super over. Like I was always mentioning, it's a yeah here, a yeah there. It was a let me talk to you here and a let me talk to you over there. Now it was yeet here, yeet there, and let's yeet some more here, and then let's yeet some more there. So, I mean, clearly, it's like definitely Jey Uso's gotten more popular than LA Knight, but he's still massively over. I was telling SMP here in the chat, that here you finally get to experience the LA Knight pop. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, because when he got on the apron, everybody was like doing the whole like LA Knight, and he does the elbow. Yeah, everybody was still popping for it. And then in number 30, out comes Logan Paul, who got a huge booing reaction and stuff and everything. So that was something. But man, we got to talk about this ending sequence here. Let me get a little sip of water because still a lot more to talk about. Boy, these Rumble matches are long, but they're so fun. And as you can tell by my reaction, it's fun, man. It's just fun to see in person. It really is. All right, so as we get to our ending our ending sessions here, I have never experienced such a huge, well, first, there's a point where we get, it was before I think Seth Rollins came out, you had John Cena, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns face to face, and man, it's crazy. Man, it's crazy because people were just going huge reaction for these guys. Man, it was like we were thinking like, holy crap, these are the top three that everyone is expecting to win. So there's one point here where Roman Reigns is trying to get out Seth Rollins, and CM Punk's in the corner, and he goes up and he ends up basically switching and throwing them out of the ring. And they are gone. Roman and Seth Rollins have been eliminated by CM Punk. And that whole audience was like, yes! I really was like, yes! I'm like, he got it! He got it! It's over! I was like, this one guy, I saw this reaction. He was like, yep. He said, there's no doubt about it now. Punk is winning. The guy was like, Punk is winning. And that's kind of was like, I'm like, Punk got it. I'm like, they really, I was telling my boy in the man 001, I'm like, they really got Punk going. They making Punk look strong now. They had him eliminate both Roman and Seth. Let's go CM Punk for the main event of WrestleMania. And immediately after that, Logan Paul eliminates CM Punk. Punk's feet hits the ground, and like I did with Nia Jax when eliminating Bianca Belair, I was like, no. Man, my boy, the man 001, he flopped back in his chair and he was deflated. He was deflated for the rest of the event until we got to the end. I was like, no, Logan freaking Paul, you have him eliminate them. And I was like, boo, boo. And once I got past my feelings as a fan, I kind of got back like, oh, Actually, that was really well played by WWE. You talk about getting heel heat, because when Logan Paul came out, I was like, that's really good heel heat. That, like, man, the fans are really booing him up. He knows how to play it up really well. And when he eliminated the guy that I wanted to win, and he eliminated CM Punk, that's where I'm like, I'm forgetting about talking about how good of a heel he is to like, boo, boo. So that would, I've never been on such a huge high to a low like that ever in any wrestling event I've attended to in person, man. And that's where it started sinking into me, man. Let's see. Araza, we got Araza Victory. Yo, what's happening? What's up? Thanks for joining the chat, Araza. Appreciate it. Man, I experiencing this live, this is what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, Logan Paul is in here for the Nia Jax spot. They don't want to put John Cena at the end against another fellow babyface who they know the fans are going to cheer, because, man, I'm sad though I don't think we got one face off between CM Punk and John Cena. I wanted to go crazy for the nostalgia. Like I told you all, 2011 Money in the Bank, that's my favorite match of all time. CM Punk versus John Cena. It would have been good to see those guys go at it one more time, but we'll probably obviously get a spot, of course, because CM Punk won his qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, so we'll probably get a spot of them one-on-one in the Elimination Chamber in Toronto. But man, I'm like, wow, they're using Logan Paul to get the heel heat because he took out everybody's favorites, and now that's going to make fans want to cheer for John Cena. And what's very interesting is the angle they shot here. Seth Rollins, man, he did a double curb stomp onto Roman Reigns. He took this personal and then did another curb stomp onto Roman Reigns on the steel steps, and they had to get CM Punk out of there. I mean, had to get Seth Rollins out of there. The security did, and then CM Punk walked over to Paul Heyman, and I was telling fans around me, like, yo, what if that's the favor? It's a cheap favor, but what if it's the favor? I'm thinking he's telling Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's going to walk over to the announcer, and she's going to be like, ladies and gentlemen, per the favor that Paul Heyman promised to CM Punk, he has now been allowed a second entrant into the Royal Rumble match. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to feel. On one hand, that would have been super cheap for a babyface to do, but at the other time, I would have been like, oh, yes, that was the favor. But no, I guess we're going to find out a little bit later on what the favor was. And after this, CM Punk gets attacked by Seth Rollins, so he took out both Roman and CM Punk. And at this point, I'm like, are they setting up a triple threat match with these three guys? And I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know if maybe WWE, even though CM Punk stayed healthy, maybe they don't want to build around CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, only for CM Punk to get injured. Hopefully not, but get injured, and there goes all their marketing. Whereas if they build it up as a triple threat match, let's say CM Punk or even Seth Rollins gets injured, well, hey, we still got plenty of material back and forth between the both of them. And so they do that. And I'm thinking, like, okay, is that what they're going to do here? Or they just want to fit as much star power into this match? So we'll see where they're going with it, but it looks like definitely right now they're aiming for a triple threat match, especially with Seth Rollins having taken out Roman Reigns, and it looks like Roman might not even be involved in a world title match because he's missing Elimination Chamber. So that was interesting. As we get towards the end of the match, and everybody ends up getting eliminated. I forgot to mention Drew McIntyre got eliminated, and he looked angry, along with Damian Priest. There at the stadium, I just thought he was just mad because Damian Priest eliminated him, and I guess that's his next program, but I guess they said there may have been a timing issue with Logan Paul or LA Knight getting in the way and stuff, and they kind of brushed each other's shoulders, and that's why the elimination kind of looked like fast-paced and awkward and everything. It is what it is, I guess, but honestly, I didn't really read too much into this. I just took it that, hey, Drew McIntyre's mad. If anything did go on backstage, that's for him and WWE to concern themselves with, not me as a fan and everything. So yeah, but if they are going in the direction Damian Priest and what was it? Drew McIntyre. I guess they can build up on how it was Damian Priest who basically cashed in on him last year at WrestleMania. So I guess they can go with that one. So we'll see where that goes. That being said, the last three come down to Jey Uso, Logan Paul, and John Cena. And John Cena ends up eliminating Logan Paul. And it comes down to Jey Uso and John Cena. And I'm like, this is where I start thinking. I was telling my boys SMP and the man 0001 next to me, I'm like, y'all don't think they would, do you? Is there a chance? Because, like, to me, the way it came off, especially with him losing to Gunther at what was it, Saturday night's main event, I'm thinking, okay, he loses to Gunther like that, and everything. I'm thinking basically Jey Uso. They clearly see that he's main event level in terms of reactions and how much merch he sells, and so they want to push him towards that high level, but they don't want to exactly push him over that high level. Keep him right there. So I'm like, I guess they just want something dramatic. But I'm like, what if John Cena actually loses this? So I'm looking at this very intensely, and fans, man, like, as much as they like John Cena, and I should have mentioned earlier, I'm glad we got to see the LA Knight and Jey Uso go at it, where they were doing yeet, yeah, yeet, yeah, and even there was a point where people, when Cena and CM Punk were in the ring, and fans were chanting, well, I thought they were chanting the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," but it was actually "Let's go Cena, CM Punk," which always sounds like the Cena sucks, and that was really cool to see. But yeah, and my reaction here, they get into the corner, they get over the ropes, and they're fighting on the apron. And I even saw on the big stage there, John Cena gets Jey Uso up for the AA, and he starts mean mugging the hard cam, and I'm like, okay. And I started recording at this point, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna go ahead and have Cena win over here. He's got him. Jey Uso slips from behind him and pushes him, and this causes John Cena to land feet first, right onto the ground, and I was the first one to react in my section. I'll probably upload it on my other social media platforms, and I was like, yeah! And the whole audience exploded and started just going, "It's just me, Oos, day one-ish," and started yeeting everywhere. Holy crap, they actually did it. They had Jey Uso go over the Royal Rumble, and John Cena no less, and he gets in the ring and Cena endorses him. Jey Uso spoke about how John Cena basically said that he told him and his brother that when they first debuted is just be yourselves and the audience will take to you. And he tells them, look at the audience now, look how they're all for Jey Uso. Man, Jey Uso, the winner of the 2025 Royal Rumble. This was fantastic to see. It really, really was. Man, I did not expect it. WWE got me. I wanted CM Punk, and honestly, I wanted CM Punk to win. I didn't want Jey Uso to win. I wanted CM Punk to win. But I am not going to crap over this by all means. There's been a lot of fan feedback online where there's been people complaining about Jey Uso. And the way I said, and I was on the No DQ review this week, for so long, particularly in the 2010s, how many men and women were selling merchandise like hotcakes? How many men and women were getting huge ovations from the audience? How many men and women were getting real good TV ratings? How many men and women were getting really good social media engagement for WWE? They were clicking all the metrics with their popularity, and because Vince McMahon didn't want to push them, and Vince McMahon and his creative didn't want to push them, they didn't get pushed, and so therefore, they're not in WWE today, or they're so much lower on the totem pole now than what they could have been had WWE pushed them. So here, Triple H does the thing. He sees that Jey Uso, and I think it just got to the point where Jey Uso, he couldn't deny Jey Uso's popularity anymore. Like I said, walking over the streets of Indianapolis, you see it everywhere. Jey Uso was massively over. People had bought his merchandise, decked out head to toe for his merchandise. Jey Uso constantly being very popular. I've talked to people who aren't even WWE fans know who Jey Uso is, and that's something. They're doing the whole yeet. Man, I remember going to my family reunion this past Thanksgiving, and one of my relatives went up to me and was going like, yeet. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you watched wrestling, because man, and stuff. Even one of my cousins, she was saying her favorite wrestler is Jey Uso. So it's like, wow. I'm like, WWE's gotten more popular than I thought, and people know who Jey Uso is. This is great. This is what you do. when the audience is buying their merchandise, when the audience is going crazy for them, when the TV ratings are coming in, when the social media engagement levels are high, when all those metrics are hitting, that is your audience telling the WWE that this is the guy or girl that we want in the top position. And Triple H is like, this is what the fans want. I'm going to give it to them. They gave us a dark horse, a pleasant surprise. Jey Uso. This is what we wanted for so many years. We WWE fans have had to see so many guys and gals who showed they had the absolute potential and were organically getting over, and they didn't get over. Well, now WWE, Triple H, through Triple H and his creative team, they are giving that to us. And that's what's awesome about this moment. That is what's awesome about seeing Jey Uso get this moment. And I can be honest, everybody was happy. There was so much love in that whole stadium. Everybody was happy Jey Uso was winning. I was talking to fans after the shows, we were walking out, who had Jey Uso merchandise on, and he's like, I'm be honest, I want to see, one guy was like, I'll be honest, I want to see him Punk win. It's crazy Jey Uso won, but I'm happy for him and everything. And that's the thing is, I'm happy for Jey Uso, and I'm glad WWE is going in the right direction. And it just goes more to show the importance of this bloodline storyline. Even though the bloodline storyline has pretty much been phased down completely, so many of the top key competitors are still doing big things. Kevin Owens still in the main event of this month. Sami Zayn was still a big crucial part of this Rumble, and in terms of how he's going to play a factor into that match. There was Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns. So many people came out of that bloodline storyline even much better than what they were when they started off, and so I think this was great. I do agree. I'm not too crazy about another Gunther versus Jey Uso match. So yeah, especially afterwards, I think it almost would have been better to not do that match at at Saturday night's main event and build towards a new match with Gunther versus Jey Uso. But that being said, WWE has a history of doing matches like Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns or Randy Orton versus Triple H, matches that have been done several times, doing them at WrestleMania and giving them tremendous build-up. So I'm interested to see where they go. But it looks like we're headed towards Ring General Gunther versus Jey Uso for the third or fourth time for the world title the second time. So will Jey Uso be able to slay him? So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes for WrestleMania and end up seeing what happens with the other one. Will this get a main event spot at WrestleMania? I don't know, but I'm happy for Jey Uso. He has earned it. He has been organically over for the last 2 years. I was there at SummerSlam 2003 when the whole Yeet movement thing started, and look at where he is now. And he stayed consistently over even with the losses. So that's a testament to how popular Jey Uso has definitely become. So overall, the Men's Royal Rumble, absolute fun.